If you get 3 columns backed up, you can take a week off. You want to do an interview now?
Oh, hell yeah. You know spring break in Cancun. Lost Reef is that, but for like what you might call mythical sea creatures. Her tongue was a human. Eventually, we opened a club together, and there was some kind of human research vessel, and they took it down. And she had taken all the money from our safe. Every single shell. It was cold.
I didn't see you last night, Maz. There was a dress code. Swim trunks weren't part of it. Didn't think you'd fall for that. You underestimate the gullibility of humans. Then again, so does everyone else. I'll see you in a bit, Crunchy. This your second column for the staycation? Third. After this, it's just telling Grimp, then I'll be spellbooked for a week. Getting messed up with magic isn't the best idea, Maz. Sober up whenever you want? No hangover? Yes, please. Never mind. Save a page for me. We'll see. As in, no.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm here to interview Osema.
Hey, Osema.
Is that the reporter?
Yep.
Hey, come on over.
You want to stay in the pool for the interview?
You don't freak out easy, do you?
Not at all. Oh, okay.
I'm from the Faroe Islands. We're pretty common in that region, you just don't hear about us. Not as popular as sea serpents, I guess.
You got a short name for that area.
Well, Osem is short for Tibothisema fetalummel, and that's one of 5 names, so...
That makes more sense. How long have you been in Jax?
About 15 years.
And you live in a water tower?
The building has plumbing.
No, I meant that can't be cheap.
Tell me about it. It was actually more expensive to haul me up here. Oh, wait. You interviewed Raph, didn't you?
The giant?
He literally picked me up with his hands in the Hudson and put me in here.
Wow, that does sound expensive.
We needed to block off all of Sedna Avenue.
Well, should we get into it?
Yeah, sure. Where do you want to start?
Actually, I had a question.
Go for it.
I was doing some research and saw that your partner is a designer. Interior design.
Yeah.
His stuff looks a lot like your paintings. Is that just you guys cross-pollinating or whatever?
Off the record?
Yeah, sure.
It's all me. Lystra is... I can't meet with humans here, right?
Totally.
So she's a front for my work. And we get big accounts. That's where the money comes from.
Lystra?
My partner. And business partner.
Okay. But how'd you get into interior design? I mean...
People always ask me that. Well, I've been designing spaces underwater since the 50s.
What kind of spaces? Like...
Well, bars at first. Have you heard of Lost Reef?
A little bit.
Oh, really?
Wait, you designed bars in Lost Reef?
I mean, one.
Sure.
I haven't thought about that in a long time. I co-owned it with my boyfriend. It was this big space, and we had light fish. Those fish with lights hanging off their heads, you know. They were our workers and would wander around the club. We were kind of tucked under a reef, so it would have been darkness otherwise. He took care of booking acts and all that stuff. He had a lot of connections. And I was able to do whatever I wanted with the space. Things just happened to really come together. And I got a gig in a Central American reef when...
Well, what happened?
My partner was a kraken, which was pretty normal in Lost Reef, you know, mixing species, but it wasn't normal anywhere else. He was royalty. Not like the king and queen, some second cousin or something. And he was going to give up his inheritance, and we were going to start a life there running bars. I remember. There's this neighborhood, South Face. And I was there on holiday with some friends from the Faroes. And we went to this sketchy, seedy bar, and I was terrified. My friends were making fun of me even. But I saw him at the bar and I thought, you're going to be my anchor. And I got through that night just zoning out everything else. I ended up staying when my friends went home, with him, doing some bartending too. Then we started the club I'm talking about. It was called Glow. Both our families pitched in, although his didn't know about me. Anyway, things were great for around a decade. Just an amazing time.
But you left.
Well, some friends of ours took out a human ship near the reef, and everyone was leaving because we thought humans were going to attack us. Which was ridiculous, because we would have just... A human army wouldn't stand a chance against the reef. But the place was based on the times being good, and the mood had soured. I hear things got back to normal after that, though. Maybe a little more corporate.
Dang.
Yeah, it was... Well, I went to Glow to open up for the day. The club was empty, but I could tell he'd been there. And he'd taken everything out of our safe, which would have been fine, but he hadn't told me and I couldn't find him. And I looked for him for hours. He was just gone. I didn't know what to think. I was just really shocked.
Wow, that sucks.
My parents had heard about what had happened with the ship, and they'd bought me a ticket home on a whale line. I mean, of course they did. They hated that I was living there. I hadn't been planning on taking the trip, but the departure was just after all that happened. It was later that day. So it was a really hard decision, but I went back to the Faroes. Basically, my life had completely changed in one day.
Dang.
It wasn't just that. I was partying pretty hard, just immersed in the club scene. And Lost Reef, it can get pretty grim, you know? It smiles on the outside, but there's all kinds of shady stuff going on behind that. The bar next to us was laundering money for... Well, I shouldn't say that.
For sure.
But it was a lot at once. Itko and his friend taking the ship down, me having the whale ticket, Balt running off with... I heard he went back to the Pacific right after that, but I wasn't going to chase him. I looked at it more as a new beginning, or a chance for one, than anything else. So I went home for a bit to regroup. Wow, I can't believe... That was just a long time ago. Anyway, let's talk about something more interesting.
No, that's cool. It's all interesting. But then you went to Central America?
Yeah, well, after I took a minute, I started looking up job postings around the world, just for anything. But I actually found something for design stuff in Belize. They really liked what I'd done with Glow, and I got the gig off of that.
So what were you designing in Belize? Is this still underwater?
Yep.
Don't people dive there? What's,
Sorry, it's just that that's my work.
What is?
People think they're diving in nature, but it's all designed.
Whoa, no way.
Yeah. I did a lot of work there and some in Asia. I touched up some parts of the Great Barrier Reef.
And people are just
I'm sorry. You can't print that.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know. I guess there's a lot that you can't put in the column.
Yeah.
Well, is that a deal breaker?
If you get 3 columns backed up, you can take a week off.
Not great for raising kids. Mine,
My partner. And business partner.
You can take a week off.
And he was gonna give up his inheritance, and we were gonna start a life there.
I thought we really had something.
Week off.
And she had taken all the money from our safe.
And he'd taken everything out of our safe.
Kids,
My partner.
I'm about to take a staycation for a week.
That's great, kid. What are you gonna do?
Something wrong? Yeah, I gotta come up with something for next week. What happened to your staycation? Some things are more important. More important than a staycation? Don't be stupid. You already buy the spell book? Yeah, it expires next week. What about the troll strippers? Ha ha. So what happened? Sometimes it's about judgment, Crunchy. And I've met your girlfriend. I know that's not your strong suit. Maz, pick up your phone. Maz, pick up your phone. Maz, pick New York Timeless. Maz Maxwell speaking. Wait, you have how many arms?